Hey everyone, you will find a link to purchase this and other models at a discount in the description below the video. You can place your order right now. Today, we're looking at the SPC Precision Clutch Alignment Toolkit that's listed as compatible with the 1996 to 2002 Toyota 4Runner with the 3.4-liter 5VZ-FE. I'm going to walk you through how I evaluate it, what to expect in use, and where it shines or falls short. For technical reasons, I can't add a clip of the unboxing and the tool in hand today, so we'll do this as a clean screencast while I cover the details I check before a clutch job and the technique I use to center a disc accurately without fighting the transmission input shaft later.
Did you know that the best discounts on Amazon last only a few hours? That's why I launched 2 channels where I publish the highest discounts on Amazon products in real time every day. Follow the link in the description and subscribe to our Threads and Telegram channels right now to consistently save money on your everyday purchases.
We start with compatibility. The kit is marketed for the 5VZ-FE trucks from this generation, which use a clutch pack that demands precise centering to avoid side-loading the pilot bearing and to let the gearbox slide home without forcing it. I always verify that the tool shank matches the pilot bore and that the spline profile or stepped cones actually seat the disc hub concentric to the crank. If your truck has an aftermarket flywheel or a non-OEM clutch, check that the pilot bore size hasn't changed. A loose fit here is the #1 cause of "it won't go in" frustration during reinstallation. Build quality matters. On my bench, I look for a rigid shaft that doesn't flex, a snug pilot tip, and shoulders that square the disc against the flywheel face. If the kit uses modular bushings, I test each bushing in the pilot bore to find the one with the least play. Any wobble you see here becomes misalignment later, so tolerance is everything. The SPC kit presents as a simple, purpose-built tool, and that's a good thing. Fewer parts mean fewer chances to introduce runout. Before centering, I inspect the pilot bearing. If it feels gritty, replace it now. A cheap bearing can ruin a new clutch. I then mount the flywheel, torque it in sequence, clean the friction face with brake cleaner, and dry fit the disc and pressure plate. The disc's damper springs should face the transmission per the clutch manufacturer's mark. Sliding the tool through the disc hub into the pilot bore should feel positive, not sloppy. If it's loose, I rotate the disc slightly while applying light upward pressure on the tool to find the natural center. The goal is to feel the tool lock in without side load. With the pressure plates started on the dowels, I hand thread bolts and snug them gradually in a star pattern. During snugging, I gently wiggle the tool to keep the disc floating to center as the diaphragm clamps. The last quarter turn on each bolt is where misalignment is often introduced. I pause between bolts to wiggle the tool again and ensure it still slides freely. Once fully torqued to spec, the tool should pull out without resistance. If it binds, something shifted and you should back off a step rather than forcing it. Real-world behavior shows up when you lift the gearbox. With a properly centered disc, the transmission input shaft will align with minimal adjustment on the jack. If you're sweating and prying, the disc is off. The SPC kit's job is to minimize that risk. In practice, when the pilot fit is tight and the shaft is straight, I've had installs where the box slides in cleanly on the first try. When the fit is looser, I've needed a second pass to recenter. That's not a deal breaker, but it is something to know before you start on the floor without a lift. Durability on alignment tools is usually about material and finish. Plastic tools can work, but they wear and can take a set if stored poorly. A more rigid construction keeps its geometry through repeated uses, which matters if you plan to help friends or run a small garage. The SPC kit holds up for multiple clutch jobs if you keep it clean, avoid dropping it on concrete, and store it in a sleeve so the pilot tip stays true. Limitations are straightforward. This is not a universal solve for every Toyota variant. It targets the 5VZ era 4Runner. If your drivetrain has been swapped, verify your clutch spec before assuming fit. If there's any axial play in the tool once inserted, you may still fight alignment. I also don't expect miracles if the pressure plate is unevenly torqued or the disc is warped from shipping. The tool can't correct bad parts or bad torque habits. Value comes from time saved. If you're doing the clutch in your driveway, shaving 30 minutes of wrestling is worth it. If you're a shop tech billing flat rate, a reliable alignment on the first attempt keeps the job profitable. In my view, the SPC kit earns its keep when the pilot fit is snug and the handle allows a confident centered feel under your fingertips. If you prefer a metal spline tool that exactly matches the input shaft, those exist, but they cost more and aren't as flexible for mixed setups. Bottom line, for a 1996 to 2002 4Runner with the 5VZ, this tool is a practical pick that helps you hit true center, provided you respect torque sequence and check the pilot bearing first. If you want a cleaner install experience, it's a smart addition to your clutch parts stack. If you demand absolute zero play and are building track